Hey there, and welcome to episode 72 of Your Fun and Profitable Online Business. This is the podcast that helps you build a business that feels as good as it looks. I'm Wendy, and I help women entrepreneurs create fun and profitable businesses using simple systems, intentional action, and a whole lot less pressure. Today, we're talking about urgency, or more specifically, why everything feels urgent. Now, tell me, have you ever opened your email and immediately felt behind? Or sat down at your desk with a plan for the day, only to have a message, or an opportunity, or a random idea completely derail it? One minute you're there working on something important, and the next minute you're researching software, or responding to a message, or updating your website, or signing up for a webinar you didn't even know existed 15 minutes prior. And somehow, by the end of the day, you've been busy the entire time, but you're not quite sure what actually moved forward. Now, if any of this sounds familiar, please know you're not alone. I think a lot of us walk around feeling like everything's important. It's time sensitive, and all of it needs our attention. But here's the thing. Urgent and important are not the same thing, and learning the difference can completely change how your business feels. All right, let's dig in. Now, I don't think most entrepreneurs wake up intentionally deciding to spend their day reacting. I think this actually happens gradually. Because we're surrounded by a lot of inputs, emails, social media, clients, notifications, marketing messages, opportunities. And every single one of these things is competing for our attention. The challenge is that most of these things arrive with urgency attached. It sounds like limited time deal, act now, don't miss this, look at that, look at this. And even when nobody is directly saying those words, there's often implied urgency there. So after a while, your brain starts treating everything like it's an emergency. A new software recommendation feels urgent. An idea you had in the shower somehow feels incredibly urgent. And before long, you're operating in a constant state of reaction. Now, this isn't because you're doing anything wrong. It's because everything around you is asking for your attention. The problem is that your attention is a limited resource. You only get so much of it. And every time something new arrives, it creates a choice. Do I pay attention to this new thing, or do I stay focused on what I was already doing? Most of us make that decision automatically, without even realizing it. And that's where urgency starts taking over. One of the most impactful conversations I have with clients, especially new clients, is the fact that urgency and importance are completely different measurements. Urgent is something that wants your attention right now, like right now in this moment. On the other hand, important helps you move towards the future you're trying to create. A notification can feel urgent. Finishing your new offer is important. A social media comment can feel urgent. Building a system that saves you 5 hours every week is important. What's happening here is one demands your attention, and the other creates progress. Now, the challenge is urgent things often are louder. They feel like they're amplified, while important things are often quieter, they're dampened. Important work doesn't send reminders or create pressure. And this means important work requires our intention, which means if you're not careful, the loud things, the urgent things, slowly crowd out the important, quieter things. And when this happens, you start wondering why your business feels stuck. Then, before you know it, other people's priorities become your priorities. And I think this is one of the biggest traps you can fall into. You accidentally let other people decide what matters to you. A colleague suggests something really cool. An expert promises something that you've been dreaming of. A friend recommends something that has you like, ooh, that's fun and exciting. And then suddenly you're adjusting your plans based on their priorities. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes outside opportunities are absolutely worth pursuing, but not all of them. And this is where intentionality matters. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Every opportunity has a cost, and every commitment takes time. And if you don't consciously decide what matters to you, other people will happily make those decisions for you. Not because they're trying to be difficult, but because everyone is focused on their own priorities, and you have to protect yours. Now let's talk about what happens when everything feels urgent. Here, in this space of urgency, you're going to lose momentum. You may be switching directions constantly. Projects take longer. Decisions feel harder. Your brain feels busier. And you end the day feeling exhausted, but not necessarily accomplished. And I hear from people that this is one of the most frustrating feelings in business because they've been working all day, they've been doing all the things, but somehow their biggest goals haven't moved forward at all. The reason is simple. Reaction creates activity. Intentionality creates progress. One keeps you busy, and the other moves your business forward. So what do you do instead? You start by defining what actually matters to you personally and identify your priorities. Not what feels urgent right now in this moment, but what really matters to you and your business. And then once you identify your current priorities, decision-making becomes so much easier. Because every new request can be evaluated through that new lens. Does this support what matters to me right now? Or is this simply asking for my attention? Now imagine opening your laptop tomorrow. The same emails arrive, the same opportunities show up, but instead of reacting automatically, you pause. You know your priorities and what deserves your attention right now. Suddenly, things feel calmer. And it's not because less is happening, but because you've stopped treating everything like it's a fire that needs to be taken out right now, this moment. You make decisions with intention instead of emotion. You spend more time creating and building. And this is where your momentum starts, not from doing more, but from protecting what matters most to you. Now, with this in mind, let's get to your action step for this week. I want you to go grab your planner, open your Stickies tab, or use whatever works for you, and write down 3 things you're focusing on right now. Just 3 things. Then ask yourself, what am I willing to ignore while I work on these things? Because focus isn't only deciding what deserves your attention, it's also deciding what doesn't get your attention. If you want to take it one step further, put that list somewhere you'll see it every day. That way, the next time your attention starts getting pulled in a dozen different directions, you have something to come back to, something that grounds you. And if you'd like a simple decision system to help you organize your ideas so you can decide what deserves your attention right now, go check out my Cleared for Takeoff program at wendymuzzy.com/takeoff. It helps you become more intentional about what ideas stay active and what gets parked so you can create progress without feeling overwhelmed. You can also find the link in the show notes at wendymuzzy.com/the episode number. This episode would be wendymuzzy.com/72. Remember, urgent and important are not the same thing. And just because something wants your attention doesn't mean it deserves it. All right, that's it for today. Until next time, happy building your fun and profitable business.